Welcome to the show. I'm your host. Today we're going to build a new desktop, starting with the Lancool second generation Type C connection. We're going to put an MSI C690 DDR4 because we don't want to purchase DDR5 right now. It's too expensive. A couple of drives, water cooling system with 2 individual fans. It tells you degrees, how much degrees we are. An i9 12th gen 1290 KF, and then we have a lot of hard drives, a lot of drives that we're going to put in. First, hard drives. We're going to start with the hard drive. Mechanical drive, 10 terabytes, 4 terabytes, 4 terabytes. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, and then 4 with this one. We're going to set it up. So 980, 970, XR8, and then the Sabbath. And then we're gonna set up our heat sinks too on the actual drives. Pretty much I got everything I need in here. We're gonna go ahead and start and set it up. If you have any questions on any of these items, I'm doing separate videos on every item, so you can go back and take a look at everything that I am including in here, including this great motherboard. It's not fancy, it does the job. That's all I said, you know. The drives, 970. We're going to put it in there as we're going to use this as a backup, but our main OS is going to be the XLR8. It's going to be our main one because it has 2 terabytes. The rest of them are terabyte a piece. Editing, videos, gaming, pretty much everything. And we're going to set up a 3080 on it right now, RTX 3080. That's the only thing you don't see here because it's actually being used right now. So we're going to go ahead and set that up and see how it goes. So let's go ahead and start. All right, we're gonna start with build. What I like to do every time, I like to install the i9 first. That's very important all the time. One of the best things I like to do is just make sure I do it properly, because I don't want to readjust it when I'm in the middle of setting up. Second, I like to mount it in the actual system, including with the actual mounts that we're gonna do for the actual water and cooling system. Prior to that, I like to test it out, do a dry run, make sure it's running prior to me throwing it in there. And then I set up the actual M.2s too at the same time before I throw it in there, including the memory sometimes. But we're going to do the memory late because it's actually being utilized by another system. So let's go ahead and start. So arrows here on the actual pin, and there's an arrow here. So we're going to lift this up, right? Lift it up. And make sure you're static free prior to starting with anything. Some people like to wear the static bracelets. I really don't. So we're gonna lift this first, all right? We're gonna lift it up, and leave the plastic on, all right? And this is the most critical part. You got to remember that these are pins. The pins are not in here. They're actually in here. So let's go ahead and open it up. Believe it or not, I dropped a couple of these before, and let me make sure there's no debris on it. Here's the actual CPU going on. Dropping it in there. This is like the critical part right here. There we go. So we got it into a point where the arrow is pointing down to the bottom. And we're going to close it up. And then once we close it up, there's no point of return, all right? So it's there. It's properly there. The arrow's there. We're going to go ahead and place it in place. And then go ahead, and this comes off. Easy. So the CPU is already embedded in there. That's probably the most critical part of setting up a computer. It's actually the CPU. This is where our OS is going to be established out of. All right, so we're going to do that. Open it up. There's actually adjustments in here for the actual screw. We're going to put it in there. It goes in the adjustment here. Make sure the copper's not in there. You push it down. Then we're able to put this back, this screw back how it belongs. I'm going to hold this so it won't move too much. I like that. That's a plus. So we are going to remove this part of it, which is the thermal tape. All right, thermal tape. But remember, these are the 3 pins that you have to have separate, right? So 3 pins. We're going to remove this thermal tape, adjust it in there, and that's it. Not too tight, doesn't have to be too tight, right? As long as, because we don't want to bend it too much, right? So let's go ahead and continue to set up the other ones. And for the other ones, we are going to set up some pins with the saver. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one, 980. We're going to put this in plate here. Make sure it's nice and cool too also. Put another one. We're going to do double-sided tape. It comes with it. Make sure that we leave enough gap in here. So first of all, we start with one side. But this is the hardest part right here. Flip it around. Adjust it very well. And remove the top. There's the top. Oh, without removing it. There it is. Put in this as a sandwich here. It comes with rubber bands, little tiny rubber bands. Quick adjustment. Alright, so we're going to continue. We're going to flip it over. Alright, flip it over just a little bit to adjust the actual motherboard. Make sure that we have all the components. We're going to put the piece in here. This is the actual for the back of the motherboard. And we're going to see if it fits. It looks like it's fitting good. We could adjust these. Alright, these are adjustable. So we're going to adjust this one. Okay, we're going to adjust it here. We're going to put it in here. All right, got it well established in there. I'll put HyperX memory. Open all of them up. Make sure they're adjusted well. Open all of them. DDR4s. That's one. Embed it. So all we have to do is marry into the desktop, to the case itself. We don't have to worry about it too much. Except for the SATA. We're going to have to worry about the SATA. Alright, we're going to start with the IO shield. You can see, first of all, we're going to go ahead and start this whole process. Fans on the other side because RGB lighting too. So, and we're gonna mount this on the top, but get all the cables out here first. All right. So we're gonna connect the fans. If you guys can see, I passed all the cables through. I had to readjust this all the way to the left so I could cable management in here, because you're gonna see all my cables, and this is pretty much how it is. But we're gonna put in the power supply here too. And I got it ready. Let's see if we have the right ones. So right now we have more power, but actually we're not going to even need that one. We're going to need 2 of the SATAs, 3 of the SATAs. We got that one. We don't need peripherals, so we're going to take that one off. It's an older one. Alright, we're going to put in this back in here, we can open the other side so we can grab onto it even better. Make sure that we have plenty of clearance. Alright, let's take a look at the actual setup in here. If you can see this part of it, the water cooling system, I actually moved it over here so I could add another fan in here to take the air out. In, out, up, out. So 2 areas. I can blow air in, but I want it out. And then we're gonna take out the plastic. Nice and simple. So we're gonna have intakes coming in here, intakes on the top, and then outtake to the bottom. This is outtake too. So we have the memory, everything set up. We just need the video card. I'm gonna crank it up. Water cooling system. I could have gone the other opposite way, but I end up going this way. I just make sure that they're a little tight. This is really tight. I actually had to switch it. So I am gonna buy an extender here for the motherboard because I don't like this. I prefer it coming out of here, but this is the best choice I could, and it was really tight going in there. Plenty of fans. You have plenty of fan space in there. You're gonna have a lot of fans. You could have more additional fans, of course. And then we're just gonna put the video card. But look at this. I'm gonna show you guys something. This is crazy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. I set up all of them, and then 1, 2, and 3, and then 1,000 power supply. 1,000, right? 1,000 watts. That's where you're going. 10 terabytes, 4 terabytes, 4 terabytes. All right. So we got everything set up. I like the magnet. I like that you could remove the simple things to go in there. So it's not that bad. So let's go ahead and crank it up. It's the moment we install the video cards, so we're gonna remove these. I end up removing 2 of them, but I think I'm gonna have to remove the 3rd one. And right now we have this is a 20 RTX 20, I believe it is. We're gonna crank this up in here. Make sure all the cables are not in the way. Let's crank this up. Space wise, let me see how much space we have. Oh shoot, it's gonna hit this thing. Oh, there we go. Guess it didn't. So concerned about that. There it goes. Scared me for a bit. RGB lighting is not coming on for the fans. For some reason, maybe I didn't connect them right, but I'll find out. Oh, there they go. They're starting up, loading up. It's gonna turn off the first time, all right, when you get it, right? But it's gonna crank up. The first time you're turning on, it cranks up, and then it stops, and there it goes again. So right now there's no LOS, but everything's cranking up. This is coming up. This is coming up. The fans actually turned on. Look at this beautiful little light. There it goes. It's gonna start loading up again, but we don't have an OS. I'm gonna start with the OS today. Look at the rainbows coming in, loading. We're gonna have to switch the logo sideways, so you can do that. The actual case, pushing this out because this is not working. Go ahead and do this here too, so you guys can see a little bit better. This, and this, and pushing the button, the side. We might have to drill some holes here, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna show you guys something I had to do. I had to modify the actual case. All right, this is for the case. I had to remove this in order to get my 2080 Ti right now, because I do have a 3080 Ti, but I wanted to test it out, make sure it wasn't the video card or something else. So I had to remove it. You guys can see I'm gonna move this back. It's a little messy, but you can see how the cables. I am gonna do cable management a little bit more better, but right now, as you can see, I had to remove that case. And you're gonna run into the same issue if you have a 3080 or 2080 RTX or it's longer, you're not going to be able to run the card very simple, very easy. You're going to have to remove these. I had to remove the rivets and then clean it up a little bit. I like this. This is cool. I like that. It tells you how hot it is. Right now we're running really cool. We're running the new generation, of course. I like that all my power is hidden from view. I like that it has a case for every single hard drive in here. I have 3 hard drives in there running right now. It's constantly cool. You could pull your hand in here. It's really cool. And I added that extra fan. It wasn't included, but I didn't put any RGB or anything like that. I did put RGB on the top. And this is pretty much, it's bringing the air in, taking it up, taking it out. So it's cycling real quick. We're not generating too much of a heat in here. And this is a lot cooler than the Corsair that I have. I can tell. Corsair, I'm running at 40. It gets hot right now. Right here, it's temperature is keeping really good at 22, you know. Other than that, I mean, you had to remove this plate. It's a pain in the ass. They do sell a plate that goes sideways here that you put your video card in here, but I didn't want to do that because I am going to put my streaming card down here and other functions too. So that's the only reason I stepped away from that and didn't want to do that, just to keep that separate from this system.